In today's lesson, I'm going to show you the most important scale technique that you need to know for jazz and fingerstyle guitar. All right, let's get started. Alrighty, today I'm going to show you the most important scale technique for jazz and fingerstyle guitar. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload videos. Go ahead, like the Facebook page, visit me over on Facebook. And if you have any comments or questions, or even if you disagree with what I'm about to say, go ahead and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so I'm making a pretty bold claim to say that something is the most important technique. But in my opinion, this has the greatest musical implications. And if you check this out, it will make a huge difference in your music. Okay, so the knowledge I'm about to give you, I want you to know where I got it so that you don't just think I'm, making it up or whatever. My teacher was a guy by the name of Mike Longo, and he was the pianist for the great trumpet player Dizzy Gillespie, who was one of the founding fathers of Bebop. And you might know him from the famous tune he wrote called A Night in Tunisia. So this is coming straight from Dizzy, and it's how I've formulated it on the guitar. So when Dizzy had a big band, in the early days, the players would often phrase eighth notes in kind of what sounded a little bit corny, but it was an older style. So if the beat was here, a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, what they would do is something like this. Be da 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 be da. You hear this phrasing da be da be da be, and it's not really the hippest sounding phrasing. Okay, so Dizzy would instruct them to use different words. So instead of da be da be da be, the first phase of learning this is go oo ba. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh. See how that kind of lays differently against the beat? 1, 2, 3, 4. Da be da be da be da be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh ba ooh. And then he would add to that, start on the ba right in front of that ooh. Now you're thinking, Adam, what are you talking about? This is a guitar lesson. But the problem that we as guitarists have, particularly if you're using a flat pick, is that this one size fits all idea of alternate picking is the da be da be da be da be. So if you had a scale and you just go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, it sounds like da be 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 da. And that sounds terrible for jazz phrasing. This tool of alternate picking is perfect for like speed metal. It's perfect for funk. And that sort of da-be, da-be, da-be phrasing is okay, I think, in a lot of gypsy jazz. Okay, but for the kind of jazz that I play and the grooves that I play, even if it's a Ray Charles arrangement, I go for the other phrasing. So now let's look at it on the guitar. What are some of the things we're going to have to be able to do on the guitar to get around this problem? Because remember, if you're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, you could be playing the most advanced harmonic stuff out there. You could be playing really fast. You can be playing all this, every lick that Charlie Parker and John Coltrane ever played, and it's still going to sound like da-be, 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 da-be. I mean, If you play giant steps like dobby 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 da, it sounds stupid.
The creature is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Okay, it just sounds stupid to play it like that. So let's get into this on the guitar. What I want you to do is go to the 5th fret, and we're going to just do the first 5 notes in a D minor scale. I want you to just find those notes on the guitar. I'm playing at the 3rd string, 7th fret, and I'm playing a nylon string guitar because it feels a little jazzier than my Maiden. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put one note on the 6th fret, the C sharp, in front of the D. Okay. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Bow ba doo ba dim, bow ba doo ba dim, bow ba doo ba dim. Can you hear that first one? I go bow, 3, 4, bow ba doo ba dim. To achieve that, you're not going to be able to do like alternate picking. That would sound like be da be da be da be da be da be da. You're going to have to slur that first note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just concern yourself with this first one. If I go real slow, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm picking all the others, right? Now compare that to the sound of a 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't mean the sound of a pick versus fingers, because you might like the pick sound better. I'm talking about the articulation. So if I were doing that with a pick, that first C sharp would be a down, and I would slur. Bow ba doo goo ding. Okay, so my teacher nailed me on this repeatedly. This kind of thing, getting the phrasing right. Can you hear that instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4? Be da, be da, be da. Not good. So what does that mean in terms of technique? What it means is on the upbeats, very often we're going to do either a slur, a slide, or a hammer into the strong beat. Bow, bow, like the Pink Panther. Bow, ba-dum, ba-dum. See that in Pink Panther, the accent is coming on that first note. Bow, bow. It's not going be-da, 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 be-da. That sounds bow, 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 ba-dum, ge-dum. Can you hear the difference? And the words that I'm using are actually how the style bebop was named. Bebop is not a set of licks. It's this way of articulating.
Thought he was the cream of the crop, but he beat, or when he should have bopped.
So now what I want to do is I want you to do it with me. We're going to go up and down the scale. We're going to go. Then F, E, D. Watch how I want you to do the slurring on this. 1, 2, ready, and. So we're slurring here. Then you're going to pick however you want. Then you're going to slur here. Bow, goo-doo, goo-doo, bow, bow. And then that last one. Bow, goo-doo, 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 bang. If you can get that bow, goo-doo, 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 down. If you're playing with a pick. Bow, goo-doo, 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 bang. Let's practice that together just a couple of times. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. Let me see. I'd have to think about if I was doing that with the pick. Yeah, so I'm going down, then alternate picking, down, down. So what you thought was alternate picking, you end up spiking that with downstrokes in places that you wouldn't think, on upbeats. Now, the faster you go, the harder it is to do that, and the more alternation you'll probably do. Like if you're going boom, it's a little hard to do two downstrokes in a row. So that's where you'll let the slurring or hammering or sliding take care of that for you. So now here's the beauty of it. If you just practice that example that I showed you, it'll set off a certain behavior in your playing, and you'll start to get a feel for it. So there's not much to think about, okay? Just start with what I'm showing you. Start really simple, okay? And then if you want to get more advanced, you can learn tunes by Charlie Parker or Dizzy Gillespie, and you just look at each little phrase and say, what's the right way to get the phrasing? Hey gang, how you doing? I was just in the middle of editing the video you're watching, and I realized that there's a super musical example that I didn't think of yesterday, so I want to show it to you. If you want to get into learning a tune that embodies this sort of phrasing problem that we've been discussing, and it will challenge your guitar technique as well, look at the tune Now's the Time by Charlie Parker. So the title is Now's the Time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to comp it on the guitar, and I'm going to sing you the melody using the right phrasing first. So check this out. Okay, here we go. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, and bow ba doo ba doo, bow ba doo ba doo, bow ba doo ba doo ba doo ba doo ba doo ba doo, bow ga doo ga doo bow, bow ba doo bow, bow ba doo bow ba doo bow ba doo ba doo, bill ya doo doo, bang doo ba doo bang 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 chicka chin. Okay, so. I mean, there's subtle things you can do differently, but you hear that first bow, that bow, that thing that lifts you into the beat and the right phrasing. Now, if you were to see alternate picking as your only tool, you might fall into the kind of phrasing we're trying to avoid, which would sound like this. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Be da 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 be da. Because that goes be da. That's putting the accent right on 1. Be da. Be da. But if we go bow, we're getting the accent before 1. Okay, so if you get sick of the exercise, the little D minor scale, you can check out the Charlie Parker tune, Now's the Time. All right, so there you have it. This musical implication is why I call this the most important scale technique. Because if you train using just alternate picking, you're going to sound corny when it comes to jazz. And it doesn't matter how much hip and cool harmonic stuff you're playing. It doesn't matter how fast you're playing. And it doesn't matter how many scales or scale patterns you learn. If you go da-be, 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 it's going to sound really corny. And the phrasing won't lay right. So I very much hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I hope this takes you a little further on in your musical journey and concept. Go ahead, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and God bless. All right.